Hey, how's it going? My name is George. I wanted to start a YouTube series where I wanted to um, practice a little bit more with vocals. Full disclosure to begin with, I am not a professional. All the techniques that I use and um, all the singing that I do, it's pretty much just self-taught. I've been doing a lot of vocals since I could even remember. Um, a little bit of backstory from me. Um, in high school, I used to like to do a lot of high school choir, a lot of cleaner singing, more operatic style singing, and I also volunteered in the church choir too for community service hours when I was younger. So I've been doing vocals for quite a long time. Ever since I could remember, once I got into metal, I was even younger than that. I think I was in sixth grade when I started listening to metal. Um, I've been kind of practicing on and off harsh vocals since then, trying to do false chord screaming, trying to do fry screaming as well. So, um, yeah, I've been kind of doing it for a while now. In no means am I trying to say that I'm a professional or I'm perfect. Um, I'm more doing so this series just to get more practice and trying to do just something fun to just keep putting myself out there, trying to get also just constructive criticism from people too, whoever ends up watching these videos. So, yeah, this is more fun for me than anything. I like to practice my vocals when I'm in the car. Whenever I have time to, I just practice vocals too. So, yeah. Um, One of the songs that I wanted to kind of get into, kind of like a, not necessarily like a reaction, but because I've actually listened to this song before, I just kind of wanted to dive a little deeper with vocals, especially certain artists. I'm not necessarily trying to mock them and trying to sound exactly like them, because how I said I'm not a professional. I can't really say what exact vocal technique that they're using and what kind of um, other techniques might be below um, or overlapping with other techniques is what I'm trying to say. All the techniques that an artist might use. It's more just me for fun, just trying to see if I could kind of sound like them. Um, I'll be using my own techniques too. More, more of the obvious techniques that I could for sure say it's this type of technique. Then yeah, I'll call it out. But some artists kind of use a mixture of techniques nowadays, especially like in modern metal. People like using a bunch of um, different types of techniques. So one of the songs that I kind of wanted to check out today is Meshuggah, The Abysmal Eye. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of play it and just kind of talk about um, their technique. And this is a song that I've actually listened to before, but you know, just for fun, want to dive into it a little bit more. I don't think I've ever actually listened to the music or watched it. So just to talk a little bit about what I'm listening to. What is the lead singer's name from Meshuggah? Yeah, Jens. Oh, Thomas. Yeah, yeah. Thomas is the drummer. Yeah, I remember him. Or Tomas. I don't know if they pronounce it like Hispanics do, but yeah. So this vocalist has sounds like he's having like a mid type of scream. It kind of reminds me a little bit about Job for a Cowboy. If you ever listen to Job for a Cowboy, um, he tends to have like a very, I would describe as bright, using a lot of compression in the, like, not a lot of compression to the point that they're like straining their vocal cords and like tightening up, but more like compression, trying to like close out the um the area around the vocal cords to kind of let less air kind of pass through, is the way that I would describe it as. That's how I would describe compression. um it's like very bright. You could really hear the enunciation of all the lyrics as he's screaming. So it's not a terribly complicated vocal technique, if I could say that. I mean, obviously they've been doing this for years. I know like this is a band that's been around for a long time, but in terms of technique, I don't think it's overly complicated, like using like a lot of like tunnels. And that's what I mean by overly complicated. I'm not saying that this is easy for anyone to do, because obviously proper screaming requires proper technique, and it's not about just trying to yell out these words, but it requires that technique. I would say that this is like a false chord technique, like a mid scream with some compression. So if we kind of listen to it a little bit. To contain its layer. Yeah, that kind of has like that mid, like it's very comfortable. It's not overly high, it's not low, it's not like a but it's more like a mid scream to me. And I tend to use a lot of compression with my vocals because I've gotten really used to doing fry screams. So that's just kind of what I'm used to, and it lets me have longer screams as well using that compression. It lets me do it for like a longer time. I didn't really get into Meshuggah, like, I've gotten into Meshuggah in the recent years, actually. I think it's when this album actually came out. Um, I know Bleed was like a very popular song that came out um, a couple years ago. I did remember listening to Bleed a lot, and I didn't really know like too much about like the whole, I guess you would call this like the gent scene. I guess you would call it like genty, like groovy metal. Um, I didn't really know too much about this, but then once I started diving into um, Meshuggah a little bit more, specifically this album, I just really fell in love with like all the groove that they could do. And his scream is just not overly complicated. It doesn't use a lot of technique, how said earlier. So it's just, I don't know, it's just good. And I think their sound hasn't really changed over the years either. They've kind of sticked with like the same sound. So yeah, Meshuggah is just Meshuggah. You know them. If you've listened to just one song randomly on the radio, you'll know it's Meshuggah, because there's just a lot of groove, down tuned guitars, and that just iconic mid scream from them. This is my favorite part from Abysmal Eye right here. Once the vocals come back before like that breakdown. Well, I don't even know what I'm doing with this series, honestly. How I said, it's just for fun, just to try to practice more vocals and just to try to, get some constructive criticism. So, if you guys have any other suggestions or that constructive criticism that I'm talking about, put it in the comments. Put what you think that I should practice a little bit more. If there's any artists that you guys would like to listen to, yeah, put it in the comments. Please give me a like if you think this is an like a interesting series. I'm planning to do a little bit more in the future too. So yeah, thank you guys for watching.